There is frankly so much to be excited about with Digimon right now. With Digimon Story Time Stranger and Digimon Beat Break releasing in October of this year. And yes, there was some stuff that happened at Anime Expo related to Digimon Story Time Stranger. If you didn't see that, I would go check out my stream that as of time of publishing was yesterday, where I went over some of those tidbits of Time Stranger and Shambhala that we got recently. But also at Anime Expo was a whole booth dedicated to Digimon Alysion, the upcoming Digimon TCG mobile game. And just based on what we've seen at that booth at Anime Expo and the one new music video that they released for it, I think I've solved two huge mysteries. What is up, digital companions? My name is Karn EX and welcome back to another video. And yes, today we are talking about Digimon Alysion and the secrets I believe it is hiding. So very briefly, if you're not familiar, Digimon Alysion, as I said in the intro, is a Digimon TCG mobile game coming to Android and iOS at some point in the next 12 months. Could be next month, could be next year. And yeah, it's supposed to be basically a full-on client for the Digimon TCG, but also with a mobile game story. You'll be able to play against people online. It's coming out in Japanese, English, other territories, and it's kind of a girl boss story, which some people care about. I really don't care that it's all girls in the story. You'll live, I assure you, you will live. The main character is Kanata Hondo, and then the other two characters are Futre or Future and Valna Dragonov. Valna is partnered with a Renamon who we recently saw two new evolutions for, Tenkomon the Kitsune, and through a very blurry card leak, Sekamon, its kind of Taomon equivalent. And also in the game is Gemmon, who appears to be kind of the mascot for the game, in addition to, of course, Agumon and Gabumon hanging out. Now, someone snapped this picture of a bunch of info we got for Digimon Alysion, but something really cool is, at the top here it states, in Digimon Alysion, a new story unfolds in the same world as the ongoing webcomics and novels Digimon Liberator. And indeed, in Kanata Hondo's section, it says she is a new player drawn in by Future, who has just started playing Digimon Liberator, a VR experience where players enjoy the Digimon card game. And yes, if you're also not familiar, Digimon Liberator is an ongoing webcomic and novel that also ties into the real-world Digimon TCG. I had suspected this is pretty much when Alysion was announced, because Kanata does use the same VR headset as we see Shoto use in Liberator. They are confirmed to be linked worlds, which makes it all the more interesting that Kanata is said to have been lured in by Future. There are going to be spoilers for Digimon Liberator in this video, really only pertaining to two characters that honestly you could probably have suspected their nature just by looking at them, but because this is full of theories, this may also be spoilers for the entirety of Digimon Alysion, so tinfoil hats on and strap in for the theory, I guess. So yes, Future, a close online friend of Kanata. They've never met in person, they see each other as true best friends, and I really feel like it's very interesting that they're stressing that side of it. They've never met in person. And Valna's section says the guild master of DWO, maybe Digital World, the guild Future once belonged to, so Future left. Then we see in Gemmon's section that it's a mysterious white Digimon with a distinctive jewel on its forehead. Oh, Bandai Namco, you are not subtle. So let's look at Future. She is a very white, cloaked, with blue elements and kind of grayish hair person, question mark. However, we can also see orbiting around her head a gem. And indeed, she has gems on her clavicle, is that what that's called? The exact same gems that Gemmon has on its forehead and again on its neck ruff. Gemmon has 5 on its neck, so does Future. Gemmon has the exact same shaped gem on its forehead, kinda so does Future. And guess what? We've not seen Future and Gemmon in any shots together so far as I'm aware. Only in the promotional art, which might be hinting at the fact that they're the same creature, or if they're not the same creature, they're tied together. What lends this theory even more credence, other than the obvious visual similarities, is now we know that Digimon Alysion is linked to Digimon Liberator, we have very similar characters in Digimon Liberator itself, in Close and Unchained, who are siblings. Close is partnered with Sunarizamon. She actually has a Digimon partner, as does Unchained. They are partnered with, well, technically like 50 Machinamon. But again, spoilers for Digimon Liberator, it has been revealed that Close and Unchained are not people. They are digital life forms created at some point in this digital world lacuna. And Unchained wants to reach the true digital world by using their sister. Indeed, it is even Close that created the emblems which we're now starting to see level 7 cards exist from. Yeah, Nabootmon, Ariamon, more coming in the future. A lot of the protagonists of Digimon Liberator and main characters have these unique emblems. Well, interestingly, what do Future, Unchained, and Close all have in common? Whitish grey hair. Yeah, in fact, Future's hair is very similarly styled to Unchained. While Future's clothing is overall more kind of white or beigey, there are still design elements that are very similar between Future, Close, and Unchained. And I do think it's going to be revealed that maybe Future is the third sibling at some point, or at least related to some version of Lacuna. Does this mean that Close and Unchained are also going to turn into Digimon at some point? Maybe not. In fact, I think it might be the case that Future and Gemmon could be separate creatures. It would kind of be funny to hype Future up as a character only for her to instantly become Gemmon, but it would also be an interesting thing to do because Digimon games like to experiment with the difference between human and Digimon, like for example in Digimon Survive with Renamon, I won't say more than that, or in Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth where the Royal Knights take human form. Maybe we're going to see Future and Gemmon going back and forth. You know, in battle in the card game, she becomes Gemmon, and then outside of battle, she reverts back to her future form because she just prefers it that way. But something that lends credence to this is that, thanks to the Digimon Alysion booth at Anime Expo, we did get revealed Gemmon's evolutions, or at least two of them, the Champion and the Ultimate. The first being Liskmon, and this truly is the best quality picture we have of this, but it appears to be based on the Basilisk, taking a kind of chicken snake form from Gemmon. But much cooler, in my opinion, is this great shot that we got, which I don't think we were supposed to get, but thank you to the brave soldier that took it, of Reptilimon, the level 5 Ultimate of Gemmon. Two things stand out. One of them did not immediately to me, but the other did. First of all, Reptilimon is very much in the same pose as very iconic War Greymon imagery. In fact, if you look at this tweet I posted, Reptilimon next to War Greymon from Survive, it's basically the exact same pose. The other thing you'll notice though is that while Reptilimon is an Ultimate and War Greymon is a Mega, Reptilimon's design is also taking inspiration from War Greymon, with the claws, the headpiece, the horns, even the hair. But Reptilimon's hair is longer. It also has, well, noticeable booba and some earrings. This is like a feminine War Greymon equivalent, or at least a War Greymon Prevo it could be. This very clearly takes inspiration from the War Greymon family, and you know, if Gemmon and Future are one and the same, them going a very feminine route with Gemmon's evolutions would make a ton of sense, as Future also presents feminine. It's a girl, and is covered in red rubies. Yes, I am staking my claim now. This is not the only evolution line for Gemmon. In fact, I think Gemmon is going to have 7, possibly 6, unique evolution lines for Digimon Alysion and the TCG. The reason I say this, first of all, is that Gemmon is being designed for a Digimon TCG focused project. It makes the most sense to give it a bunch of evolutions so that it can work in different archetypes for the card game. What backs this up, in my opinion, is Liskmon and Reptilimon. Going with this very, like, reptilian, even dinosaur-y vibe, specifically for Gemmon's evolutions, when Gemmon is a red card in the TCG. In fact, I tweeted this over a week ago now. Kinda hope Gemmon digivolves differently depending on its deck color. So red Gemmon becomes the Liskmon Reptilimon line in homage to Agumon and others, but a black Gemmon card might go more bug or machine, etc. Not likely, but it would be neat. I changed my mind. It is likely, and it would still be neat. So as I say, we now have confirmation that Alysion and Liberator exist in the exact same universe, which makes something very funny line up with lore we have known about Digimon Liberator since very early days. The digital world of Lacuna in Digimon Liberator is divided up into 7 sections. The Emerald Coast, the Central District Jewel, the Lapis Marines, the Obsidian Desert, the Amber Remains, the Ruby Mountain, and the Amethyst City. Emerald Coast, the green archetype perhaps of the card game, where natural and bug-like Digimon exist. Jewel, which I believe is the white archetype, things like Omnimon. Lapis Marines, coming from Lapis Lazuli, the blue area. Obsidian Desert, the black area. Amber Remains, the yellow area. Ruby Mountain, the red deck color area. And Amethyst City, the purple deck area. All of them named after gems, like Gemmon. This has been in front of our eyes the whole time, everybody. And indeed, if we look at Reptilimon's left arm in that War Greymon pose, it is covered in rubies, perhaps from Ruby Mountain. So this is my suspicion for what's going to happen for Gemmon. It doesn't have to be in the specific zones of Lacuna, but I do believe its gem-based evolutions are going to be influenced by the different colored decks of Digimon card game. Like we've already seen, its red evolutions, Liskmon and Reptilimon, and whatever the Mega ends up being, are going to be based on red decks, which obviously Obviously, all colors in the card game now run a big gamut. However, the kind of archetypical Digimon associated with red are things like Agumon, fiery Digimon, reptilian Digimon, dinosaur Digimon. If we get a blue deck-based evolution for Gemmon, we might be looking at things like Garurumon, or indeed water and aquatic Digimon, like Gomamon's evolution line, the Sangomon evolution line from Liberator, ice and water. Yellow evolution line for Gemmon could be holy, as associated with the Heaven's Yellow starter deck, things like the Angemon family, or indeed more mysticism and things like that, like the Renamon evolution line. Renamon, of course, also being in Liberator. Green, we could see a more natural, still gem-based, still be emerald, but maybe it could be bug life, maybe it could be plant life, something different there. Black, associated with a lot of machine Digimon, though we do see cards like Blitzmon being black in the TCG too, so there could even be bug elements in a black Gemmon evolution. And purple, amethyst, something much more sinister. Maybe even a dark Digivolution for Gemmon could pursue the purple amethyst line. And then finally white. While we have seen white apply to a lot of archetypes, it tends to be kind of outliers. So initially Omnimon was a white card because it was a level 7 merging of red and blue. Then you have Digimon like Ukomon, who's a bit weird, or the D-Reaper, which is a digital life form. I think we can kind of go two ways with white. Either we'll get just a full pure Gemmon evolution line with no outside influence, so like Gemmon to Diamondmon and so on, or maybe white will just be the level 7 for Gemmon that will kind of combine all of the other gem evolutions into one, perhaps as Lacunamon. That might not happen, but I think it would be pretty cool and a really good full circle moment. So yes, that is my bet. First of all, I think Future is a digital life form, not a human, and in some way is very deeply connected to Gemmon. Either she literally is Gemmon, or is like the same species or tied to Gemmon. Second of all, Gemmon is going to have branching multiple evolutions. It makes a ton of sense. Gemmon as the new TCG mascot, with a much smaller cast than Digimon Liberator, giving it a red card and just locking it into red evolutions just feels pointless. Giving it all the colors of the Digimon TCG Rainbow makes so much more sense and creates so much more longevity for both the card game and Digimon Alysion as an app. I don't think we would have gotten the opportunity to see Liskmon and Reptilimon this early before a closed beta is even out anywhere apart from like Anime Expo and things like that if we weren't going to be surprised with tons more evolutions for Gemmon. And when you look at the fact that Lacuna does have these 7 areas all named after different types of gems, I really feel like the theory is nearly watertight. Alright, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts and theories on Digimon Alysion in the comments down below. As a reminder, I'm going to try and do weekly live streams to catch up on small bits of news. But when there's a really big significant news drop or a really cool theory like this, there is still going to be weekly videos bare minimum. There is so much Digimon news right now. Alysion, Time Stranger, Beat Break, and the Pendulum Colors with Shambhala, plus more probably coming. It's a fantastic time to be a Digimon fan, so if you want to get on board of this journey, see more exclusive content and early ad-free content, please do go check out my Patreon at patreon.com/Karn EX, like my Sovereign ZDK14, as well as all my Davas, Digidestined, everyone else who supports me over there on Patreon, and thank you to my channel members here on YouTube. I appreciate you all so goddamn much. I'll see you next time with a digital. Bye-bye.